Welcome to Quantum Alchemist Master Podcast. In this space, we share our journey in the awakening and integration process without judgment, building an all-inclusive community of awareness, love, support, and full acceptance. Reminding you that you are the master, you are the healer, you are the medicine, you are a divine, infinite, multidimensional being. You are source in human form. We all are. Everything you seek outside of you is inside, inviting you to go within so that you remember who you really are. Step into your true potential, create your own reality, and contribute to the reality of the collective. The change starts with you. We're all one, and love is the answer. Good morning, Gladys. Welcome to the Quantum Alchemist Podcast. It is a pleasure and an honor of mine to have you. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. Thank you for having me. I look forward to sharing my ideas and anything you would like to know about what I do and how I can be of service.
Awesome. So I personally had a wonderful life-changing session with you. So I'm really eager to share not only my own personal experience with what's amazing, but also kind of to share everything that you want to share with us in regards to what you have to offer. What is it that you work with? Just give us a little intro about yourself and what kind of work you do or how you got started doing that. Like whatever comes to your heart, just say it. Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Gladys Bermudez. I live here in Miami, Florida for most of my life. And my life was pretty much mundane. Just went to school, got married, had children, was taking care of my elder mother. And I worked most of my life in an office environment. And for 1 year, I started seeing the number 333. For an entire year, and I didn't know what was taking place. At any moment during the day, in the middle of the night, I would open a book and I would find that number. And I asked around, nobody really knew. So I was just kind of curious to what was taking place for me then. Of course, all throughout that time, I read, I came across Brian White's book, Many Masters, Many Lives. And I read it, and that always resonated with me. Because even though I was raised as a Catholic, I always said, it just feels like a soul doesn't just have a chance to make things right. And so it always resonated with me that a soul always is expanding and learning as with each incarnation. We have a purpose for each life that we have. And so that stayed with me. And of course, I ran into a friend that posted something in Facebook, and I saw Dolores Cannon and I started listening to her, and my soul, she's speaking my language. For some reason, I couldn't believe what she was saying. It resonated so much with me because I didn't grow up listening to that information. So I'm like, oh my God. I was amazed. So I started looking at the videos, buying books, and the friend that posted it in Facebook, she said, I'm going to her conference and I'm going to meet her. And I said, I'm going with you. It just something came over me. And in that conference, I was so fortunate because all speakers pointed out to me. They asked questions. I just felt like I was in my environment. There were so many vendors, the speakers, just like it was a new world for me. And later on, I found out that they wanted to make sure, my team wanted to make sure that I didn't have any doubts that was where I belong. And that was my new chapter in my life. And I was like so amazed. So from there, I was encouraged, and I started being a practitioner since 2014 until now. I've been practicing her method, and I've learned 3 or 4 more methods that are also quantum and connect you with your divine self. What we call the higher self, the subconscious. It is our divine connection to God, because that's God expressing itself through all of us. And so it is just amazing that my life just completely shifted. And I started doing what I never thought I would be doing, but I just really felt that that was what I needed to do. I was a little scared, I'll be honest with you, because I didn't know about this world, this new world that I was being introduced to. But I followed my guidance, and it was so clear to me that this is what I needed to do as the next step in my chapter, the next things that I'm here to concentrate and focus on. And so I am been so blessed. I consider myself such a lucky person because I am doing now what I am so passionate about. I see results with my clients, and I learn, I cry, we laugh. It's just a roller coaster of experiencing and expansion. And I'm always so grateful to the universe to have opened this window for me so that I can step in it. You know what? As manifesting and creating, I was saying to myself at this point in my life, is this all there is? I want magic in my life. I swear to God, I kept thinking that. I want magic in my life. This is just so boring. I mean, everybody does the same thing. There's got to be more than what we normally do here that we were taught to do. And there's got to be more. And so little by little, then obviously this opened for me, and it's been excitement all throughout. It's been challenging sometimes because, everything goes up and down. I've had my hardships, and I'm trying to understand certain things. But for the most part, I am so grateful that I am here today.
I love that. And I'm like mesmerized with everything you're saying, because I feel like it's just your soul speaking out. And of course, your work resonates a lot with me. And I'm sure if anybody, I recommend Gladys 100%. She's a friend. She's a master, a teacher. We learn from each other all the time. I think we're just all in expansion and learning along the way, right? And being there as support for each other, because she has vast knowledge about different things, and we just share and keep growing together. Gladys, you mentioned that you wanted magic in your life, and I just want to touch on that real quick before we move on, because I was at a very dark time in my life. I always want to say, like, I felt like I was at a extended dark night of the soul type of situation. And once what I thought was my reality completely came to an end, and everything just broke down and fragmented into so many pieces, to the point where I couldn't believe this is the only thing that was possible, that this could not be the only thing we would be doing here on earth, that it could not be the only thing that God created. Like, why would it be so boring and so flat and so didn't make any sense to me. I couldn't believe something so holy will create something so black and white, like so empty. Yes. There like no higher purpose behind it, right? And I just didn't settle for that idea. And I invite everybody, you don't have to believe what we're saying at all. You don't have to, it doesn't matter if it resonates or not. I think the important thing is to open your heart to infinite possibilities, right? Just keep your mind open, listen to different ideas, come to your own conclusions. Don't take anybody's truth, the society or anything outside of us. Your parents, anything you've been passed down, don't take that as set on stone, right? Go on the quest for yourself, for your soul, for who you are within, right? Inside. And Gladys, before we actually started recording, we're just talking about going within, because I just came back from Arizona and I did a lot of deep inner work there. It's a beautiful place. And just invitation to keep living in the question. Keep looking at yourself inside, access the subconscious. We do operate only 5% on the conscious, and then you have all the 95% that's untouched, the subconscious and unconscious. That's where we kind of want to dive in, and what's in there, right? What's the coding that's been engraved in us through the outside world, right? And how do we rewire that and create the life that we do want, the magic that we do want to experience, right? So that's kind of just to touch on that. So let's talk about like energy work. Like I've worked with plant medicine and other type of energy work in the past, the Akashic records and other things. But what type of energy work have you worked with? Do you concentrate on your sessions, just so you can kind of know a little bit deeper? Because I know we kind of know a little, like I know a little bit about Dolores, but I really don't know, to the extent of maybe you combine a couple of things that you've learned along the way. And that's how, just tell us a little bit more about like any energy work, any plant medicine you've ever done, or anything energy wise that you bring to the table.
Yeah. I haven't done much on plant medicine. I did tried and experiment when I was younger, but not on a spiritual level. And I honestly haven't really practiced or done anything after that. But what I am most familiar with is Reiki, which is energy work. And what Reiki does is allows the practitioner to balance our chakras, which are wheels of energy. We have 7 wheels of energy, the main ones. We have smaller ones within the body, and we also have them outside. We have one more to connect us with Mother Earth, which it's has consciousness, and Mother Earth, we are representing her and we are her children while we are here. And then we have 4 more to connect us all the way to our higher selves. So, but the ones that get this balance are the ones within the body, because everything that is happening around us throws them off balance if we're not in our mastery. So at the beginning, I actually, I started, as soon as I started learning the quantum healing session, Reiki came into my life, and it resonated greatly with me. And they tell me I have very powerful hands to start including it in the session. So it is an option that I offer my clients free of charge, because they say that it makes it easier for your team, for your higher self, your subconscious, to connect more deeply. You are always connected to your own self. The higher self, the subconscious, is a part of your soul that doesn't incarnate, and it stays on the other side of the realm to guide you, to see things from a much higher perspective. And so you are always connected to it, except that in our the way we are raised here, we are not used to connecting with it or being more aware that we are connected to not just our higher selves, but a great team that has been assigned to you, that, you can always ask them for help. And mind you that this is a free will planet. You do have to ask, or their hands will be kind of tied, because if you don't ask, it's very basic guidance you can receive. You can really open to another expansion of who you are. You have guardian angels, you have spirit guides, your ancestors, your galactic connections, ascended masters in the angelic realm, and all the other light beings that we're not aware of, such as fairies, dragons. Oh my God, it really expands. And believe it or not, my team includes fairies, and they do include dragons. And honestly, I never thought that would be a part of it, but it has expanded, where they have come forward and they have shown themselves to me that they are part of my team. So the more we connect, the more we are organic, the more we are aware of information that is around us. So Reiki uses the hands. And of course, it has to be with the client's willingness to receive these balance within them. Also, as I work with them, I remove any blockages, any dense energy. So this helps my client sessions so much more, because the energy is all around us. We need to be very familiar with our energy. There's dense energy, there's light energy. We can clear our energy just by our intention. We can easily ask that our energy be clear of anything that isn't serving our highest good. But Reiki is a very strong, because you receive a lot of healing, a lot of expansion, a lot of balance. So this is one of the modalities using energy that has been requested of me to add, as well as crystals. Did you know that crystals have consciousness? Crystals are here as a tool. And there are so many crystals, and they almost are like doctors. They specialize in certain things. So some are more like for protections, or others are more for connecting. And there are others like the clear quartz, where you can program it to whatever you desire. And so working with the crystals, especially when you're meditating and you're opening up to expanding your field, to expanding more of who you are through meditation, crystals are very much recommended. I would say 99% of my sessions, the higher selves will always say, yes, use crystals. They're here to help humanity, to help you. And when you're in your mastery, then can be set aside and be given to somebody else.
I love it. Thank you for sharing all of that, and thank you for bringing light to other realms. I think we don't touch on that enough. I love personally fairies, dragons. I've always had a very positive interaction with different realms, and I believe that they're here to help us, guide us through the expansion process. And for example, I know you said intention. So I always say that I work with love, faith, and intention. So the intention behind why we do everything is so important. That sets the tone for everything, right? So thank you. Thank you for bringing light to all of those things, to a lot of other things that have consciousness that we don't talk about all the time, that are wonderful tools. Thank you for bringing up meditation. I cannot stress that enough. And people, meditation, you don't have to be in like lotus position for an entire hour. People meditate differently all the time. Like I have to lay down for my meditations, and they're more of kind of like shamanic journeys, rather than a meditate, but that's fine. Like find what works for you, right? Try going out into nature, trying doing, like I do silence sometimes. And that works for me quite a bit. Just being in silence, just try journaling, see what comes down, because journaling is just an extension of your heart, of your higher self. Try to connect with your masters, ask for guidance and for help all the time. Ask questions all the time. I journal and I ask questions all the time. And that really just opens another door, right? And it's another wonderful tool. Let me ask you, have you ever had any like near-death experience, or heard of anybody close that has had any, or like, what do you think? Even like reading the Brian Weiss book, which is a beautiful book. I recommend it if anybody hasn't read it yet. It changed my life. So highly recommend it. Like kind of touch on that. What do you think happens like after we die, even if you haven't had an experience, or things along that line?
Okay, so the closest that I've come to having that type of experience was when I was on a head-on collision car accident many years ago. My son was next to me when that took place. I did not see this car coming forward, and I was turning. Everything slowed down. It is like the movie, like they're showing everything just slowed down. And I saw this bubble around my son as the car was moving. I could, like, all I was thinking is, oh my God, my son, let him be protected. And all I could see until it came to stop, I saw this bubble around him. And when after a couple of minutes that I asked him if he was okay, he said, Mom, I'm all right. I thought I broke my legs and I had a burn in where my seatbelt. But his experience is he was protected in that bubble. Nothing, absolutely not a scratch, no physical pain, anything. He just walked out of it. And he was protected because I don't know if it was my request or it was just for him to not, nothing happened to him. He was very protected. And I was too, because in a way, nothing seriously happened to me. So what I do know from the sessions that I facilitate, the journey to the soul as we go from one life to another is that when the soul is ready, it has already accomplished its missions and it's ready to go. Some of us come for a very short time because there are very few lessons that they need to learn, or they have a mission where they just come here to be of support for a short time and then they leave. It always goes back into the light and it continues to exist. So think of the physical body as a suit that we temporarily wear, because death does not exist of the soul. The soul continues to exist. It just changes its way. It's like it metamorphs into something different, which is what we normally are. We are spirit. So it is all usually met by someone that comes to greet them and guide them into the light, for them to just clear, heal, and continue whatever path the soul desires to continue to do. So that is usually the case. There are exceptions, though, where a soul may not be ready to leave, or it has a huge attachment to their loved ones, or maybe even materials, or it was so shocked and scared that because of the type of life that they lived here, that they don't feel they deserve to go into the light. And so they get stuck. But I would say that's such a small percentage that it's not very common. Normally, souls are just going into the light to continue their journey. And that's how I see what the soul takes place. I've had clients where they did have an out-of-body experience, and they saw themselves being in a hospital where they were being operated on. They went to the waiting room where the family was there, worried for them, and they went and they had a beautiful experience meeting their guardian angels, God, different stories, had different experiences, but all being of such encouraging love and light and purpose, where you just really are told, remember why you are here, and you haven't finished your job yet. So you are to go back to finish it. And so, the soul, a lot of times, sometimes it's giving a choice, but most of the time, the soul selects to complete what they came here to do. But there's a life change experience for them, because they already are so aware of what is really so important to focus on, because we are all here to accomplish missions, to be of service, and to a lot of it, clear if we have any karma, soul contrast with others. It's really all about expansion and being of service when we are incarnated in any planet, wherever we are.
Thank you so much for expressing your perception on that, and I completely resonate. Of course, we have a lot in common, and a lot of your ideas resonate with me. But it's amazing, right? Even if it doesn't resonate with everybody, just kind of listen to another perspective. Like, isn't it awesome? Doesn't it sound so cool that we get to be so magical and do all these things? So I always think like we're like spirit, mind, which I resonate with, mind, consciousness, and then we're the body, like in that kind of like in that order, right? Rather than mind, body, spirit, I kind of reversed it a little bit. And that's kind of how I like to look at it. After what I've gone through in my journey, my near-death experience, and it's just that changes your life forever. You never see life the same way, and that's why I also focus so much on telling people to go within. You do have a mission, you do have a purpose of why you're here, even if it's just for support and to give love. It's perfect, but when you connect with it, you find purpose to get up in the morning, right? You find that chi, that energy, that prana, right? It's something that spark, that divine spark in you. And you see, and you're grateful every day, and you definitely become of service to others. Before I had many business, ventures that I did, but it was always driven on the external material world. It was not from my heart, right? Because once you know what your mission is, once you're grounded, once your roots are so deep in and so connected with earth and with the divine, you just know you're unshakable, right? I mean, you go through life with the cycles of, just like nature has, right? Your ups and downs, your challenges, you use it as stepping stones and transmute it, become the alchemist, which is why the quantum alchemist, right? Try to transform that for good into your life. So thank you so much. I love everything you've brought forward. These sessions, I find that are very healing for me personally, and I hope they also are for other people. That's why we try to bring in, special guests that really bring value to the world, bring a beautiful message, and try to spread the word and the message of love across the world. That's really all it is. So now, what do you think about how our thoughts impact our reality? Because a lot of us grow up with a software that's been put in there before, right? That we're conditioned, maybe from any limiting beliefs or the perspective of lack, or that we can't do it, or that you're not good enough, or that you're not worthy of, right? How can you, or what message do you have, or how do you see that, or just anything you want to share in that perspective?
Okay. Based on what I have learned and experienced myself, I've become very aware that we manifest our reality. I am not an expert on manifestation, but I've seen it with my own eyes. It's been spoken on my sessions that in order for us to manifest what we want, we have to think about the things that we need, that we would like to bring forward. It is our birthright to receive and have abundance. Okay. So we have been programmed in school, in the parents, the government, our religion has all been a part of the programming that to keep us in place in a way that we are only following orders and not really reaching out and expanding and knowing why we really truly are here. So we manifest with our thoughts. So they are saying what your thoughts are doing. It's like an antenna out to the universe. So if you want to create abundance, you can be worried about the bills you have to pay, the negativity that is surrounding you, knowing that the best thing to always do when we face a challenge is there is a solution, and knowing that, taking the steps and the universe meets you halfway, these are only temporary. So by being in a vibration, in a thought form of the things that you desire, and then they said you need to feel it, use your visualization, see it, take pictures of what you want. What is it that I want? I've seen a lot of people take pictures of the house they like. Maybe they want to be by nature or the beach or the mountains, or seeing themselves sharing in a community, or, being of service. They always maybe wanted to have have a horse, or, all of these things that they wanted in their lives. A lot of people, okay, so they are so disconnected. When you ask somebody, what is it that you want? They honestly have tuned out, and they don't know. Like, I don't know what would make me happy. I would honestly recommend for anyone trying to manifest things, good things in their lives, is to reach out when they were kids. And that also has come out in my session. Reach out to your inner child. Connect with what used to make you happy, and go with that. Start really connecting and writing things like music. I like reading, being more in that vibration where you are happy, when you are peaceful, when you're harmonious, and that's your highest. When you're manifesting, you're more opening to manifest that, because the universe says, oh, so that's what she likes or he likes. Okay, so let's bring more of those opportunities for those that that person to experience. And I've seen it. I think of somebody and they call me. Sometimes I say, oh my God, I haven't seen this in the supermarket in a while. And then the next week I come up and I see it. So there are little things that start manifesting. And, sometimes if let's say you want money, you might find yourself, I found the $5. Oh my God. Okay. So, not that you're going to expect always to be finding things, but it's just the universe speaking to you, saying you are what your thoughts and you're a vibration of. You cannot be or attract a mate, for example, if you're not in that same vibration of that person. So you have to make changes within and think differently and be more positive, and try to always be aware that the things are not happening to you, they're happening for you. Because these are lessons perhaps that you need to go through in order to master your existence, your male and the female, male and masculine and feminine energy that we all have, whether we're male or female, we all have it and we all need to master it. So yes, manifestation comes from knowing what you want, feeling it, seeing it, and bringing it forward with your steps. Not that it's going to drop out on your laptop, on your lap. It's just gonna. It's like the universe says, God helps those that help themselves. So yeah, start taking steps. How do I do this? If I want to become a musician, let me start taking classes. You have to go through it, and if it's for you, it will just easily start everything unfolding in front of you. If you are not really prepared or ready for it, there's going to be blocks along the way. And then you have to find out, going within to see, why is this taking place for me? Maybe it's not divine time. Maybe it's not, something that I am to experience in this lifetime. Because you are pretty much have decided more or less what experiences you're ready for and what you want to do. So if you stray too much out, life will have a way of bringing you back to what's really important, or allow that shifting to take place for you. Complete shifting that you weren't expecting, and knowing that this is happening for you. So looking at the positive of the reasons why these things are taking place for you.
Wow.
Oh, and of course, the collective. So because we all have been programmed, we are creating this matrix. So the more of us that are awakening, it is time. The Mother Earth is awakening and is being through her process of going from 3D to 5D. And a lot of other beings, light beings, are helping Mother Earth, bringing in a lot of energies to us to awaken, to wake us up. And honestly, we are creating it. So the more of us that are awake, that can see that we're being played and that we are playing a game, that we are part of a game. So in order to leave this matrix, you really need to be more aware of your thoughts and why you're doing it and start questioning it. And you always go with what resonates for you. So when the collective is all thinking the same, guess what's going to happen? Reality is going to slowly take place and change for all of us towards what, we, humanity, want, which is to be creative and be freed of us doing the things that we want to do and be in abundance, how we were meant to be.
Wow, so much wisdom in that. I mean, I've always said that abundance is our birthright, right? We are manifestors, period. We're co-creators. Whether you've been able to experience that firsthand or not, just for the people listening, keep digging, keep asking, until you manifest that in your own life, until you experience it firsthand. Because it's changed my life. And once you find out who you are. So like you were saying, the matrix. So I always want to, I don't want to put out, the government or society or the parents or point it out, the blame into or the elite group behind the group, instead of doing that, I just want to think of, the external world or the matrix as a part of us that's more unconscious. I just not to create separation between, us, because, I believe a lot in love and forgiveness and kind of, like you said, the real war that we're fighting should be starting within, right? Within ourselves. When you change, it's a ripple effect, right? And then your unique consciousness will eventually affect those around you and become the collective consciousness. And we will create that new reality that we all deserve, that we all want. I don't think, a war or anything that we're going through right now really has any benefit to anybody. At least not, the common people, that are wanting to keep the peace and just wanting to keep family together and just be alive in general and leave something good for our kids, for the next generation, right? So kind of like start fighting the war within, right? Forget the news, forget the media, look within, change within, embody yourself, your mastery. Break that cage, break that illusion, right? That's what I invite people. You're so divine. You're a divine, infinite, multidimensional being, and that's being kept from us. Like, how could we have forgotten that we're so amazing and that we could do so many things? Like, when did we accept that limiting belief that prevented us from achieving our true potential? So once you begin and that little spark, that little voice inside of you awakens, there's no going back. You're only going forward to keep, stepping into who you really are, becoming that expansive self-awareness and consciousness. So I love that. I had a couple touching points in regards to what you said. So about Mother Earth putting out the call for help, because I think we've gotten to a point where I think we can get, we need all the help we can get. So there's been a lot of volunteers from different realms. And a lot of us are volunteers here for different purposes. We, like you said, we all have our mission here, but the idea is to help. That's it. You're a reflection of me. I'm a reflection of you. We're a fractal of source. Like, that division has not gotten us anywhere in the past, billions of years. So maybe it's time for us to make the change to unity, to oneness, kind of like in that direction, and see where that leads us next, right? Just an invitation. So is there any messages that you kind of want to give out to the audience? Any recommendations, any books, anything you want to share? Anything that pops up, just feel free, whatever you want to share.
Okay. I would advise most of the people that are listening, and if you are listening already to Rosalie, you are not here by coincidence. You are always being guided if you're already listening to this, you're already expanding. We're all activating each other, awakening. The more we come from our love, from our heart center, the more we act on that, the more our higher selves will be able to incorporate more parts of themselves within us, so we can walk this path from a higher perspective. Just knowing, always know that you are always being guided, that you are a master. Only ascended and souls that are able to be here in this dense school are allowed to incarnate. So you have the skills within. So it is to tap into them, to start being more observant of what makes you happy, why are you here, through meditation, nature, eating healthy, because our food also plays a huge part of the energy that is in the body. They have said that when a client is very dense, physically, that it's harder for them to fully integrate to get the most out of a session. So I actually even started incorporating the day before, try to eat lighter, at least then. Also, we are like batteries. So hydration plays a big role. Try to hydrate as much as you possibly can. And they have also said we're shallow breathers. We have gotten too used to not breathe in deeply. So the breath, that's what connects us with our divine. So it's about knowing that everything is energy. We're all related. We are all really all one. Different expressions of God, and to really just focus on you, because that's whenever we have learned a lesson, or we forgive, because forgiveness plays a huge role. When the soul forgives, they're actually releasing an anchor that is keeping them from moving forward, because that's still tying you down to that person or that thing that took place for you. So knowing that in all different lives, we have played different roles. We may have been the perpetrator in another life. And in this one, we seem to be getting the other side of it. So by letting go and forgiving, the higher self always says that look at everything that is taking place for you, and you are everything. Don't just connect with one part of what has happened to you. Concentrate on everything that has happened to you as an overall experience of what a human is, our emotions, and how we can master and become manifestors. Because when we reach the fifth dimension and we fully stay on the fifth dimension, we manifest right away. This is our training. Okay, this is our training. We are here to manifest. So they will not allow us to manifest instantaneously. You have a lot of lessons that we're pending to do. So the more you work on you, just know that you're slowly always moving forward in the direction of your ascension. So it could take longer or quicker for you. It's really what you decide, what's important for you. And the more we really focus on doing that, the more fun we can have. They want us to have fun. They want us to really be in our most highest vibrations, to help Mother Earth and to help everyone around us, including us, because we'll be happy.
Wow, wow, that message is just beautiful, first of all, and amazing. It touched my soul, just everything that you've said so far. And I always, you inspire me to kind of even add a little bit more to what you've already said that is so perfect already. Just like you were saying, do things that bring you joy. So for example, when I was a child, I used to love to sing and to paint. I still can't sing, guys. Don't get your hopes up. But I started painting, and when I paint, I listen to Mozart. And what I found is repetitive times, I've been able to recall past lives while I'm painting. So you never know why, right? Something's coming up. And I think we've been trained in school and just in general in life to be so left brained, right? Like just, that rational thinking and that, so that creativity, when do we, between the kids, the husband, this, that, the million things we have to do, the to-do list, the infinite to-do list in the day, where are you quiet? Where are you creative? Where are you bringing joy into your life? How are you? You burn out. I burned out. I know, I could tell you that. I burned out several times, real bad. So, it never really got me anywhere. I was definitely not more productive for having 40 things on my to-do list versus the top 3, for example, or starting maybe my morning routine. So what I do now a little different is I work on what I talk to my wife all the time about this. I said, listen, I can't start my day without overfilling my cup. And then we were talking about it. She's like, what do you mean? Oh, you keep saying overfilling your cup. What is that? So I said, listen, unless I start my morning how I prime my morning and be ready, I cannot be of service to others because I cannot pour from an empty cup or from a 3/4 of a cup, because then I feel like I'm taking away from me to give to someone else. So once I'm ready and I'm overfilled, then everything else that pours is that a pleasure? Is that a love? It doesn't affect my energy, my time, like anything, because you're in that state of giving and being able to share, and you're centered and you know what you're doing, right? So that creativity, basically, that's where it kind of ties in the idea of what I was saying, that creativity and that joy, right? It affects so much more in your life, rather than you're like, why am I going to sit and pain for time? I can't even have time to have my coffee. Like what? No, try it for a week, see what happens, right? Like, see how that changes your life. Like, just be open to different things. I would have never thought in my entire life I'll be painting in the mornings, or I'll be practicing Tai Chi for 5 minutes. Just different things. I never saw myself there. And these little things, I think the importance of the compound effect in your life, I don't realize I'm not the same person from a year ago, and I made all these smaller changes, and then now I see it. I'm like, wow, okay. So, that's where that has taken me. So a lot of us want like a pill that's going to solve our issues in 30 seconds. And maybe there is one. I still haven't found it, but little by little, the changes that we make internally usually reflect externally, right? So as above, so below, as within, so outside, right? So that's kind of what I've been able to see in my journey. Thank you so much for everything again. I'm just honored. I am touched with the profoundness of the episode. I think we didn't keep it lightly. I always give my speakers the option of going as deep as you want to go, or staying as light as you want to, because you don't. Also, some people just don't feel comfortable sharing a lot of other stuff. But come on, we talked about so much golden nuggets here that I hope it sparks at least curiosity. At minimum, find out for yourself. Go out there, question us. Like, what is she talking about, right? Who cares? Question everything. Like, question your own beliefs. Question the food you eat. Question the water that you're taking. Question what you're reading, what you're listening. Just question life. That's it. Just inviting people to live in the question and be of service. Really, I think that's been one of the greatest rewards that I've been provided with, has been being of service to others. It was never anything else has not given me the fulfillment that I was seeking, and helping others has. So thank you so much for your wisdom, for your time. I am completely honored to have you share your everything, your mastery, up to date with the people and the message. And I hope it touches as many hearts as possible. So thank you again. I appreciate you so much.
It was an honor. Thank you for inviting me. Always follow your intuition. That is the most important thing, to honor yourself and your truth. It may not be somebody else's truth. So just because somebody else believes in something else does not mean they're wrong. It's just their truth. Always listening to your own intuition and bringing in the best of who you are every day will really take you to different levels of being happy and content with your life. Thank you, Rosalie, for inviting me for this interview. It was a pleasure being allowed to share my experiences with you guys. Thank you.
You're welcome, Gladys. And we're going to be sharing in the description where people can find you, how they can contact you, and all of that. But if you want to kind of say it on the recording, it's fine. Like your website or anything that, that you like people to contact you on, you can share that if you want now before we end it.
Okay. So my website is www.soulquantumhealing.com. I had my name and last name for so long that it's the name is new, but it's www.soulquantumhealing.com. And there you can really be able to find my number, my website. I have a YouTube channel, and reach out to me if your soul is guiding you to have a higher understanding of your purpose here, and also for healing, being able to know why it is that you're going through your physical ailments. And that is all also done during the session. So thank you and blessings to you all.
Thank you. Blessings.
Thank you so much for listening. For more, follow us on Instagram at Quantum Alchemist Master.